If you guys are on, let's see some chat. If you can see us and hear us. Looking for chat. There we go. Hey, Richard, Sarah, wow, Kevin, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Deborah, Val, Johnny, Miriam. Hi, Miriam. Awesome. Moon. Hi, Moon. Hi, Moon. Val.
Dajaha, Moon.
Rick Rock and roll, baby. Wow. Okay, there's a lot coming on right now. It's a little bit overwhelming. Slow down a little bit, you guys. All right. Hi, guys. Fantastic. All right. Well, we have here in the studio, actually, I am home today, and we have in the studio our keynote today, Mr. Dr. Adam Salcedo, who's your keynote speaker. This is the third series of, I think, 8 we're going to do, or 9. So this is number 3. And the first one was a broad stroke vision. Second one, business highlights. Third one, the technology. Next week will be plankton, phytoplankton. So we're very privileged today to have Dr. Salcedo in the studio. He has done these this morning since 7 a.m. He's been doing them all day long with us. And I know he's a busy man. So Dr. Salcedo, we're very grateful for you carving out some time in your busy schedule to be here with us. In addition to that, we have Rick Redford, who's actually coming live from Taiwan. Wave, Rick. We can see you. There you go. Oh, wow, now he knows 2 words in Taiwanese. That's pretty amazing. And then, of course, we have Allison King, who is our Director of Marketing, Jorge Alvarado, our Chief Marketing Officer. Who else is in there with you, Adam? Anybody? Adam, sorry, Adam is on mute.
Juan Carlos is here.
Juan Carlos.
Juan Carlos, JC. Hola, JC.
Hola.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, before we get into this training with Dr. Salcedo, I just want to bring us up to speed really quick. Next slide, please. As you guys know, we have been talking about the Prodigy duo, the dynamic duo in Dr. Adam Salcedo and, of course, Dr. Bala Ambati. And we feel very privileged that Dr. Salcedo was pioneering this technology, and these 2 great minds collaborated, have brought a technology to the marketplace exclusively through you, me, us, and to the world. So it's fascinating. The whole story is fascinating. I love it. I can't wait for this to hit the marketplace for many different reasons. Next, we've talked, next slide, we've talked a lot about Prodigy-5. You're looking at a case right there. They come in cases of 24. We did everything we could to fit everything we possibly could into this thing. And of course, the idea is to have an all-in-one nutritional for everyone every day. We know this could have been 4 or 5 different products, but how fun would it be to put together the perfect healthy habit for everyone every day, for general health as well. So we feel very privileged to highlight some of these. Number 1 is the technology and know-how, and we're very privileged today to have Dr. Salcedo illuminate what the technology and know-how is tonight with you live. So take notes. It's quite enlightening. It's kind of technical at times, but that's what we kind of like once in a while, right? Especially if it's coming from the man himself. Number 2 is a conversation around phytoplankton. As you guys know, it's the first food, the oldest, the best food, the checkmate in the conversation of nutrition. We know that phytoplankton grows in water, whether that's ocean or fresh water. It is loaded with ingredients that are good for us from head to toe. It has pretty much the kitchen sink in there. Number 3 is antioxidants. You know, we want to protect from cellular damage and free radicals, oxidation. We want to stay young and healthy, not get old and sick. And it's very important to have a daily dose of antioxidants, which this will bring to the table. Nothing pasteurized, or it's just the real stuff. Number 4 is the importance of vitamins. We know there's been countless studies on vitamins, but in this case, imagine having the vitamins combined with this great technology that Dr. Salcedo will be speaking about. And then number 5, something you can feel within a few minutes is energy. And number 5, please. Something to do with energy that you can feel within just a few minutes. And of course, that's what a lot of people like. So that's why we're calling it Prodigy-5, all-in-one nutritional shots for everyone, every day. The perfect general health habit, okay? It also has 5 business highlights. Next slide. Number 1, it is a simple duplication model, guys. This is simple. Take a shot a day, basically, because there's 24 in a case. When you get one, always have one backup, because you're going to want to sample these. You're going to want to give them away. You're going to want to keep a few, because you never know when your envelope's going to be in the mail, right? So always have an extra case on hand or 2, and because you never know how your business is going to be exploited through the samples of Prodigy-5. So simple and duplicable. Number 2 is unlimited opportunity in our industry. It's just it covers such a broad base of business. If you look at the vitamin and supplement industry, look at the antioxidant industry, you look at the energy industry, and you look the vitamins. These are huge, monstrous. So this is an unlimited opportunity. Number 3, I like this one a lot. Not only just a unique pricing model, but to me, it's the unique pricing model and how it's combined with AutoShip in such a way that the pricing becomes extraordinary. For those of you who live in different countries, who pay sometimes the different taxes and duties, this pricing model will serve you perfectly, okay? Number 4 is it's a business-driven product, guys. I mean, the product is bulletproof. It is solid. It's as good as it gets. But what's nice is now we can go and help the sick people and recruit healthy ones. Okay, so we can build a business and really go out and make a splash in the business world. For everybody here, go make a lot of money. And then number 5 is, of course, the Forever Green Express model, taking the power of the global economy indiscriminately to every doorstep and allowing everyone to play seamlessly. So look at these 5 also business highlights that really exploit the strength of this business model. Something so potent, so powerful, so technical, even so proprietary, fits into one envelope, by which we will call a case. So fun stuff. Next slide. As you know, we've been letting people kind of load it up, if you will, to kind of start building their income now without really any risk. It's a $20 ticket to the live training with Dr. Ambati and Dr. Saucedo, live in Paris or live online. You want to get a piece of them, right? $20 and 20 points. But as small as that is, here's how big the package is. Because when you do that, you put yourself first, because there's only one pre-launch pack, guys. It's 6 cases of Prodigy-5. It's worth a little over $400. It's $299 and 250 points. It will not be charged for about 2 months, okay, October 29th. So just by that simple $20 training ticket, you're giving yourself first in line on the run of these pre-launch packs, and you're giving yourself the option to lock yourself at AutoShip for 2 of these. Okay, 2 of them are worth about your price, 125, street price, 150. Imagine putting them on AutoShip for $99.95, being fully qualified in the compensation plan, and you can lock that price in for life. So talk about really taking away the sting of taxes and duties, etc. This AutoShip will serve everyone around the world. What a powerful, powerful concept. All right, so with that, I am going to introduce the man of the hour today. This is his last one of the night. Dr. Saucedo, thanks for being a trooper with us today. I know it's been a long technical day for you explaining the science, but I know you're giddy about it. I know you're excited about it. Many of you know that Dr. Saucedo did his medical graduate work in New York. He opened one of the largest eating disorder medical clinics in the world. Today, he is a thriving scientist and researcher and obviously developer. Tonight, he's in the develop role. He has also served Forever Green now for 8 years, serving you and your business. You may recognize him, of course, in all the great work and reinforcement and education he's given regarding power strips. So, Dr. Saucedo, what a privilege it is to have you. After Dr. Saucedo, we have the privilege of hearing from Mr. Rick Redford, live all the way from Taiwan, who's going to give our closing thoughts tonight on the business. So with that, Dr. Saucedo, thank you so much, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate the introduction and the kind words, and as I've said each time, I mean it sincerely. Thank you for teaming up with us to bring this very special technology that we feel confident will make a tremendous impact in the lives of many, many people. Thank you for taking on that role. Hello, everyone. I can see there's a lot of you out there. It's wonderful to know that you're taking time to come and listen and to share your very valuable time with us. I'm happy to be here and to have an opportunity to talk a bit more about Prodigy-5 and the technology that went into it, to talk about some of the history of its development. And with that, we'll just get started because we do have a limited amount of time, and you'll find that it won't be adequate to cover all the things we'd like to. So this will be a stepwise process. You'll learn some things today, and we'll continue to educate you and familiarize you with the what we believe is very special technology as we move forward in time. So with that, I'd like to start with a story. I'd like to tell you about how the idea of this technology began. I remember back in the middle 1990s. In fact, it was 1997, and I was stationed for the Army in Germany, and I was working in the emergency room, and I was seeing all of the returning service people, the Army and the Marines, the airmen, everybody coming back from what we call downrange, from active combat areas all around the region, North Africa, the Middle East, Eastern Europe, the Balkans. We were seeing everybody, all these young people returning who had been serving in these dangerous areas, and they were injured. They were brought back to the hospital that I was working in Landstuhl, Germany. It was the only level 1 trauma center in Europe dedicated to serving the soldiers and sailors and airmen fighting in that geographic region. And I would see everyone that came through because we were serving in an emergency capacity. And I wasn't asked to do this, and that wasn't part of my area of responsibility. But I noticed something about a group of the service people that were coming back. I noticed that a group of them were recuperating what seemed to me to be quicker, having a bit better results. And at first I couldn't quite believe it, but it was true. There was this group of service folks that were healing more quickly, and I began to investigate it. And after looking at all kinds of things over a period of weeks, what I struck on was that this group, because of some idiosyncrasy in the system, were temporarily receiving their food from a different source. And it turned out that they were getting a bit more food and different kinds of food than others who had returned from fighting. They had similar injuries. They were of similar age, similar background. So it was only this nutritional difference that accounted for one group doing better than another. And it shouldn't have surprised me. I'm a physician. If you give good nutrition to somebody, they're going to heal well. They're going to grow well. They're going to build health. So it shouldn't have surprised me, but it did, and it stuck with me. About a year and a half later, I had transitioned out of the Army, and I was practicing medicine in New York City. And I became part of a treatment team that was treating a young girl who was suffering from anorexia nervosa. And she had been fighting this disease for years, and she would fall into the active portion of the disease and get sick, and then she'd get treatment, and she would recover some. But slowly and over time, this young girl began to lose the fight against the anorexia. And I remember she came in, and I hadn't really ever treated someone like this, and I couldn't believe how sick she was. She had nothing wrong with her except the idea that she believed that she was fat. It was a psychological disease more than anything. But underlying that psychological disease was the nutritional element. And after a couple of weeks of intensive treatment by a team of individuals, she began to respond and to eat. And in a very short period of time, a couple of weeks, by eating, by taking in food, she began to look so much better. Vital signs began to become normalized. Her complexion improved. Her energy level improved. She changed completely. It was astounding to observe if you'd never seen anything like that before. And it struck me. It was something that impressed me. Unfortunately, over the period of the next 6 weeks, she fell back into her active disease, and that was the last time that she would do that. She ended up dying of anorexia because she refused to provide nutrition for her body, and she died. And it was amazing to observe the changes in her and the impact that it had on her, to see how empty she seemed, how sick she became. But she affected everybody around her. She affected her friends and her family. She affected her coworkers. She affected the people caring for her. It is a powerful disease founded in nutrition, but is basically a psychological disorder. But this was years ago, and that first exposure I had to this devastating nutritional disorder stays with me today, and really impressed me. About a year later, I actually had the opportunity to be part of a program whereby we would build an eating disorders facility. We had purchased a hospital in Salt Lake City, and I was a partner in this, and I was made the managing partner. And over the course of 8 years, we built this facility, and it became the largest eating disorders facility in the world. We attracted the finest physicians specializing in this area. We brought the best nutritionists around. We had some of the best management. We set up an organization, an environment that was really a beautiful place to treat and to learn about nutrition. And we treated thousands of people. This disease is a horrible thing. It affects 10% of the women in our population, and it affects 10% of women in the first world. Of that 10%, 2% of them eventually die from this disorder. So it is an extremely aggressive, highly fatal disease, and it is a disease of nutrition. So I'd seen these two very, very different situations. One where a group of soldiers had recuperated from their injuries more rapidly. Why? Because of the nutrition they were giving themselves and they had available to them. Another, this group of women, of young women, who refused to see the beauty that was in them, and instead saw in the mirror an obese individual that they didn't like very much, and that because of this perception behaved in a way that ended up with them being very, very, very sick and affecting in dramatic ways the people in their lives, and many of them lost their lives. But both of these stories have as the underlying theme nutrition. And this idea that two fundamentally nutritional disorders could be so different was fascinating to me, because I was sure that at some level there was a common thread, that there was something between these two very different presentations of nutritional disorders that were common, that had something in common. And I spent years participating in the treatment of these young women, and I saw in great detail and over years many aspects of nutrition and how it impacts the body and the mind, and the power it has to take or give health to our bodies. And I enjoyed this very much, and it was very fulfilling. But as this idea began to evolve in my mind, I realized that something was missing, that I was not in a position to continue to evolve a model by which to understand the various nutritional disorders and how we could possibly approach all of them at once and try to provide support for each of them. And so I handed the management of New Life Centers over to some very capable folks, and I moved to the university and began a fellowship in molecular biology and genetics. And this afforded me a completely different perspective on disease. I was used to looking at disease as something that happened to a patient. I was looking at it in a general way, in a gross fashion. But what I discovered when I began to study molecular biology and to study the genetics of disease was a whole new area. I was taking and beginning to understand the disease from the bottom up, if you will. I was able to not look at the patient as an individual and as a human being. I spent years doing that, but I was able to look at the disease at the cellular level, at the organ system level, at the molecular level. I was able to see disease and what was going on physiologically, biochemically. And this is what I was missing. This data, this information is what I needed to learn in order to fill out this this concept that I had been evolving over time in my imagination and through my work with nutrition. I was very fortunate in this work that I had begun at the university, because the individual who invited me and mentored me in this work was Dr. Ambati. That's how I met him. It's through an invitation to come on as a research fellow and to work with him. And I often think about it and wonder how I could have been so fortunate to have a chance to work with such an individual. But it happened, and I was trained in the technical aspects of molecular biology and genetics, and learned how to look at disease, and in particular how to look at disease with the idea of searching for a cure, a treatment. Right now, there is a very powerful movement in research circles that takes aggressive research with one thing in mind: to develop as promptly and efficiently as possible a treatment for the disease that you're studying. And it's that impetus that came with this training that helped me to evolve the eventual model that I'll talk about in a few minutes. Dr. Ambati and the researchers who I was able to work with, all truly brilliant individuals, people who had dedicated their lives, decades of their lives, to highly complex studies. I was fortunate to be a part of that very special circle of study and of learning, and Dr. Ambati helped me to look at the problem in a different way, and it was through this applied difference that I was ultimately able to begin to work specifically in the area of nutrition. I'd been studying eye disease. That's Dr. Ambati's specialty, and in the study of eye disease, also its applications in cancer treatment. We've been looking at many models of disease. But after doing that for years, it finally came time for me to do my work, the work that I wanted to pursue, and Dr. Ambati backed me up on that as well. And we took this problem of nutrition to the lab. We studied the available data, the available peer-reviewed articles, the experimentation that had gone on in the area of nutrition over the course of decades. We reviewed all of the available information, and then we took the problem to the laboratory. And we used the most cutting-edge technologies to approach this problem. We worked with living human intestinal cells to see how they functioned to absorb and utilize nutrition. And this helped us to understand this model of nutrition even more. And ultimately, this idea occurred to us, and what that was is that underlying all of the different nutritional diseases, and there are many, hundreds, we realized that in almost every case, there was a derangement. There was an abnormal, there were abnormal levels of micronutrients in the person suffering from their particular nutritional disease. In every case, that was the common thread. And so we pursued that. You can go to the next slide. And it was through studying this idea, looking into the mountain of data that had accumulated over years and decades by other researchers, and studying their work and studying the experiments that had gone on, that allowed us to begin to formulate an approach to deal with this underlying problem of micronutrient derangement. And it was that first element that we incorporated into what would now become Prodigy-5. You can go to the next one, please. So you see in number 1 here, the first step was a micronutrient formula based upon peer-reviewed data, published data, experimentation, and that in fact had the American Medical Association's approval as an ideal formula for micronutrition for general health. So this is the first proprietary, patent pending element or technology, if you will, that we brought to Prodigy-5. The second one, please. The next one. Here's a list of those nutritional elements that comprise the general health formula. Again, each one is chosen for very specific reasons. Each individual element that you're looking at was chosen, and his dose was chosen based upon a mountain of data and information that had been accumulated by the brightest minds in nutrition over decades. But this wasn't enough. We didn't want to just have a micronutrient formula for general health. We had been working in eye disease. We had probably the finest mind of his generation in eye disease and in science and medicine working with us, Dr. Ambati. So we used that to encourage us to build the formulation, to build the formula, and to bring additional technology to this product. And because of that, we brought these four elements. These four elements were chosen for very specific reasons based upon the largest series of studies ever done on eye disease, age-related study of eye disease. And it is these elements together with a few of the other elements in the general formulation that work together and address the major diseases of the eye, and according to the AREDS studies, mitigate those major diseases. So together, the micronutrient formula for general health and for eye health were brought together as one, and it is now a patent pending proprietary formula. And it is based in more science and data than any other formulation in the marketplace. But we didn't stop there. Next, please. We realized that antioxidants had to be incorporated. We were reading as we went through all of this data, this mountain of information about technology, something that all of us have come to know, and that is that free radicals were becoming a tremendous problem in our health, with increasing levels of pollution, with abuse of tobacco, with stress levels, poor nutrition. Free radical levels were climbing and are climbing precipitously in our bodies. And there are many models for disease, and one of them is that many diseases have their beginning, their first step into the human body through the free radical model. So we realized we had to add antioxidants, and we chose three very specific foods that the data and that information about these foods proved to be ideal for the antioxidants we wanted in our formulation. We chose pomegranate, raspberry, and phytoplankton. Now, as I said earlier, there's just so much that I could talk about, but I really have to leave that there and tell you again that I will touch in greater detail upon each of these areas. And for the scientists and the doctors out there that are going, tell me more, I assure you that I will make available abundant data for anyone and everyone who cares to review it. But this was our antioxidant formula that we included in the Prodigy-5 product. Next, please. Now, as you look at the literature, as you look at the common media of nutrition and fitness, there is something that is continually brought up, and that is that freestanding micronutrients, vitamins and minerals that are not part of foods, that are pills or powders, that they are not absorbed with as efficiently as they would be absorbed were they incorporated into foods. And that's true. That has been shown. We understand that. But we had spent so much time, and we had hit on what we believe to be such a powerful formula for addressing the litany of nutritional disorders. We'd hit on these formulas for general and eye health, that we were convinced that we had to ensure that the body was absorbing and utilizing these micronutrients that we were providing it. And we were working, our company, which is called New Soap, our company was working on a completely different project. And that project was dedicated to increasing or bioenhancing absorption of nutrients. But we realized as this project evolved that we had to take that technology and incorporate it into Prodigy-5 to ensure that nutrition was actually being utilized. We had to do it so that we knew it was happening, so that you had assurances that it was happening, that anyone looking at this product could see that we had developed a technology to ensure that the body was assimilating, absorbing, and utilizing these micronutrient formulas. This list has been sitting here for a while, and this list is a very partial list of potential mechanisms of action for that absorption technology that I talked about. And I'll talk about just a few of these to give you an idea of how we approached this challenge of increasing the bioenhancing absorption of nutrients. We utilized our technology to ensure that transit time through the stomach was increased so that our product and foods that passed through the stomach would actually transit more quickly. And while they were transiting through the stomach, the technology ensured that there was a reduction in the hydrochloric secretion, the hydrochloric acid secretion. The stomach is a very harsh environment, very acidic, very low pH. And so by increasing transit time and by reducing secretion of the hydrochloric acid in the stomach, we were able to pass our technology and other nutrients through the stomach so that they made it through into the small intestine in a more complete form that could be utilized more readily by the body for absorption. Additionally, another thing that our technology is capable of doing is to have effects on the gallbladder. The gallbladder secretes bile, and bile is critical to the digestion of fats, but it is a very aggressive chemical. It breaks down fats, but it has very powerful effects on amino acids and sugars. And so our technology decreases or has effects on the gallbladder to reduce the secretion of bile. So again, the nutrients that we're delivering, the micronutrients and the technology arrives in the gut, arrives in the small intestine intact, whole and ready to do the work that it's there for. We also were able to increase permeability of the intestinal cells that are the targets of nutrition. The cells that the nutrition entered the body through, we increased permeability of that, allowing for more ready absorption and uptake of the nutrients. These are just a few of the things that our technology is able to do, and there are more. So to sum up, we have 2 proprietary technologies that include micronutrients designed specifically for general health, and that is backed by the American Medical Association as the optimum ingredients necessary for general health. Secondly, we have our micronutrient formulation for general eye disease. Eye disease is becoming epidemic. Macular degeneration, the incidence is climbing. Blindness due to retinal disease from diabetes is another growing problem. It is essential that it was essential and is essential that we face and address issues to do with eye disease, and we did that. So we have these 2 proprietary micronutrient formulations, and together with them, we have this proprietary bioenhancing absorption technology to ensure that those micronutrients are getting where they need to go to do the best good for our health. Finally, you can go to the, actually, let's look at this list. This is a neat and partial list of some of the nutritional elements that our technology enhances the absorption of. And we just have some. We have the fat-soluble vitamins. We are able to augment the absorption of all of the fat-soluble vitamins, of all of the water-soluble vitamins, of the minerals that you see here and others, of the amino acids that you see here and others. You even see whole foods, herbs at the bottom, important herbs that have pretty powerful health effects. We were able to show in the laboratory, and we have data for all of these elements showing that we were able, through our technology, to enhance absorption and therefore the delivery of these nutritional elements to the body. And there are many more. We go to the last slide, please. And so we have what I consider an extremely important technology that if shared, can touch the lives of every single individual on earth. Even if we're healthy, even if we don't suffer from any kind of disorder or disease, by balancing our micronutrients, we are helping to establish a healthy environment in our bodies, to maintain our health. But for those who don't, for those who are suffering from disease, this technology has as its core the strongest, largest body of scientific evidence to support its use and to support its efficacy. It's a powerful technology that with it comes responsibility. We've brought Dr. Ambati on board. I talked to you about him a little bit, about how I came into his lab and what a critical part in the development of this technology he played. Without him, I know that I never would have been able to quite finish this idea that had been percolating in my mind and in my imagination for so long. It was his brilliant insight that helped to give the final push and to give the scientific insight to finish this. He's come on board as part of our advisory team. And as I've said, he represents one of the top minds in his generation. He's also a nice guy and a fun guy and a humble man. And he'll be a wonderful addition to Forever Green. And I look forward to seeing the distributors interact with this amazing individual. And last, I want to talk about Forever Green. I've been part of Forever Green for 8 years. I've observed the organization for a long time. I've participated in the organization for 8 years. I've worked with hundreds of distributors and the leadership and staff, and it's something that I love. I love to work with Forever Green. It is something that I do because I love it. It's something that I enjoy. It's one of the things that I do, I choose to do, to bring me joy and to have fun. A lot of people go swimming, or they go shoot hoops, or they play golf. I love to come down to the headquarters and to interact with the leadership at Forever Green, with the staff at Forever Green, with the incredible distributors at Forever Green. So I know that this is the appropriate organization to hand this technology to, with the assurance that it will be taken, and through the brilliant work of Ron Williams, the CEO, and his founding of the and pioneering of the global envelope model, will allow this technology to go out, to begin locally, begin at home, and to go out and eventually become a global movement. I'm confident that Forever Green will provide what is necessary for this to happen, and provide you with the support and the means to realize the potential of Prodigy-5 as a tool for health in the world. And with that, again, I want to thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk more later. I have a lot more to teach you and to share with you, and again, thank you. I'm going to hand it off to Mr. Rick Redford.
Adam, thank you. And I know that we all are in gratitude for the work you do, for your passion. I've had the opportunity of traveling numerous times with Dr. Saucedo, and consider him a work associate, but even more importantly, a good friend. And he is always consistently passionate about what he does, and about the technology, and about what it does for our bodies. So thank you again for all of us, Dr. Adam. We're so grateful to have you be a part of our team. Greetings from Taipei. I've been over here attending an event. Head back tomorrow, arrive Thursday afternoon, Utah time. And so grateful to have been here and to get to know the distributors and leaders in the Northern Asia, or Greater China market as they call it. And one of the things I wanted to share with you, first of all, is what do we do next? I mean, if you've seen the past webinars, you know that there's an action plan. You know that it's a simple action plan. First, you start with the $20 pack. That $20 pack will lock you in to the training directly from our Paris convention the end of October. It will also lock you in to the pre-purchase of the larger pack, the $299 pack. That's the 6, as Ron says, case pack of Prodigy-5. And that credit card charge will not be processed till the end of October. So the $20 pack you purchase now, it is charged to your credit card. That locks you in for the pre-price of the bigger pack, the 6-pack. Then that also locks you into the lifetime rate or the lifetime price, which is the first time ever that we've done this, of $99.95, 90 CV. However, that 90 CV is as if you were fully qualified for all the benefits of the compensation plan. So this is a great opportunity to really get involved, to lock in your place today. That's really what this is about. Second of all, join us on the webinars each week, every Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel, as I like to say from my 60s. One of my favorite shows. And same time every week. So 7 o'clock will be the English call every Tuesday, and stay tuned for what next week will look like. But wow, it's going to be tough to top today and tonight's webinar. Also, join us in Paris. Whether you can be there physically, that would be great. We'd love to have you with us in Paris. We're going to have a great time. And I mean, who doesn't want to be in Paris, right? Or if you're not able to get to Paris for whatever reason, be there remotely, because you will have all the advantages of being there. Well, I won't say all the advantages, but many of the advantages of being there personally. And then, how do we really take advantage of a product like this? And for those of you who maybe heard about this for the first time tonight and really understand the power of this product, I mean, this is going to be a game changer. How do you take advantage of that? Well, you can wait until the end of October and launch that product into whatever size organization you have today. Or you can go out and with Momentum 100, break new ranks, expand your organization today so that you have a larger organization to launch this new product into. It's really as simple as that. One of the things I said in the event as I was here in the they call OPP meeting here in Asia is sometimes we walk up and down the same road. It takes me back to my junior high school and high school days, going the same road every day back and forth from school. And what happens is when you do that, sometimes you don't look up and you notice the beauty of it, maybe of a tree along the way, or a flower garden, or maybe it's just the sky from that perspective. And I think sometimes we're that way in business. We forget to look up. And so we're so focused on the day-to-day things, or the frustrations we might have, or the no we received yesterday from the person we contacted. It may be a myriad of things that affect our belief for that day, or our to notice the beauty around us. I have the distinct advantage of having looked at Forever Green from the outside looking in. I'm not suggesting to do that. I just happen to have that advantage. This is the third time I've had the opportunity of joining with you here at Forever Green. And looking with that perspective and seeing what we have in this product and in this model, the envelope model, ship anywhere in the world. We were talking to the people here in Taiwan this week and how excited they are to return back to the focus of the envelope model and what that can do for their business in all of the world. That is the beauty. That's the tree that we've missed as we've been walking along our road and forgot to look up. It is beautiful. It's awesome. No one else has a business model like this. Now to launch this product, as Dr. Adam Saucedo has just described to us, back into that envelope model, I mean, gosh, what a perspective. So I just wanted to give you that as a close today. Be sure to, if you have not purchased the $20 pack, go out and do that today. Lock in your spot. Get in the process, so to speak. Join us in Paris. We'll see you next week on the webinar. Thank you, everybody. Xie xie.